I'm going to just share a little bit of our agenda. We will be talking through our features and benefits of some of the new products that we've mentioned in the past. So there was an email that went out to talk about our nutrition module, our menu display boards, and our order ready boards. And so that's what we'll be talking about today, a little bit more in depth. We'll go over some of the overviews and configurations of these solutions. We'll talk a little bit about looking forward, what to kind of anticipate with these solutions, and then have our Q&A session. Now, I love presenting our presenters because they're really the experts on this subject. So we have a little bit of a different panel today. We have Jonathan Sellers, who is our account relationship manager. He's the one that has conversations with customers about some of these needs. And then we have Rick Morgan and Aaron Bush as part of our R&D team, our software developers who are really the ones working on the solution. So they're going to have a slew of information for you guys. I'm really just going to pass it off from here to Jonathan to talk through our products. So Jonathan, take it away.
All right. Thank you so much for the introduction, Pal, and thank you everyone for joining and attending the webinar today. As Pal said, we are very excited to introduce 3 new products, and I'm going to give you a little bit of detail about the products themselves, and then Aaron and Rick are going to go into the simplicity of setup for each product and go through some of the features that we can allow on it. First, on the list is the nutrition module. This allows GEMpos to manage the nutrition and allergen information for your menu items. We can connect to the USDA food database to display calories and other nutritional information on the menu boards, on your online ordering locations, or on the receipts. Next is the menu board itself. This feature allows you to display your current menu options, prices, nutritional information. The appearances can be customized, branded, or even have product pictures. And the menu boards can automatically rotate as your meal periods progress. For mobile, kiosk-based, and custom orders, the order ready board allows us to display the customer's name and their order number, as well as the progress of the food preparation. I can go into a little more detail of the benefits of each of the new products. All right. Again, the nutrition module not only meets the FDA legal requirements, but also allows your customers to make a more informed, health-conscious decision. It also allows you to reduce allergy risks by posting that so that they can see it. The menu boards themselves provide reduced wait time, allows your customers to have a little extra time to make their decisions before they come up to the register itself. It allows your food service department a little more freedom in updating menus without having to print out and repost new menus. The order ready boards reduce customer anxiety by eliminating the need to shout out someone's name or wait for their name or make sure that their order is ready. They can look at it on the screen, and it frees up your staff for quality control and order prep instead of chasing down the recipient of whatever the order is. After this brief introduction, I'm going to hand it off to the knowledgeable and capable hands of Aaron and Rick.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jonathan. We appreciate that. If you can see on the screen, folks, here, it's a pretty simple thing we're talking about here with nutrition. You see a screen of the point of sale here where we've selected an item on the check and we've gone and pressed a button to display information, nutrition information for that item. So you can see that on screen there as you scroll down. If it's something that you also want to print out, you can do that. And so you see it printed out on the left. Now, this is dependent on you entering the nutritional information for the items themselves. As Jonathan had mentioned, some of that you can pull from the USDA website, but there's different ways to handle that. So this is pretty simple here as far as the display. What I'd like to do is have Aaron go over the configuration of this with you to let you know what's involved there.
Thank you so much, Rick. So this is our first screen when you go ahead to add nutritional information to your menu items, you'll notice you have a menu item groups. You'll be able to select your menu item group. So you have your entrees, appetizers, desserts, however you end up organizing your actual menu items, you can select that to limit what's actually being displayed in the bottom list. You can then filter that further by entering in the name of the actual item you want to do, or just a few characters to get it a narrowed down list. If you want to do all of your burgers, you can type in berg, and it'll show those items. On the right-hand side, you'll notice we have two areas. It says USDA and add allergen. When you click that USDA button, it's going to pop up a screen that allows us to then search the USDA databases. You have three fields that you can enter information in. The first is the item name or UPC code. The item name will come pre-populated with the menu item you selected, or if you want to look up an item by the UPC code on the packaging, you can do that as well. Then we have a data source. There's two different data sources we're currently linked up to. One is the branded database. This database will allow you to search for like items from Whole Foods, Taco Bell, any of the big name brands, Kroger, like a Safeway, depending on what your grocery store chain is, you can also search by that. When you actually search an item, we also create a filter list for the brands. So any brand that comes back is going to show up in that right-hand column called brand filter. That will allow you to select just that brand's information. So in this case, we search for a chopped salad from the branded database with the Whole Foods market. So now we only have three options available. That's what Whole Foods happens to have that meets that criteria in the USDA database. When you select an item, the right-hand side is going to get populated. It's going to tell you the serving size as well as all the nutrients that are required by the USDA. When you are done selecting your item and linking it, you can go ahead and hit OK. That's going to populate the main screen with the information. And then we're going to go ahead and click the Add Allergen button. When you hit Add Allergen, the Add Allergen screen pops up. This screen has the filter to allow you to search through the allergens to filter the list down. Currently, we have a small amount of allergens in the database. This is all stuff that we will add for you. So if there's allergens that you want to have added, we can go ahead and add that quickly so you can end up adding it to your items. It's as simple as selecting an item, hitting the right arrow to assign it, or left arrow to unassign it. You can have as many or as little allergens as you want per item. Once you've selected all your allergens you want, you hit OK. We'll go back to our main screen. And now you'll notice that we have a name of an item that we're linked to, which is the USDA branded, which tells you what database you link to, the serving size, as well as all the calories or all the nutritional information that is grayed out. So this is not able to be edited at the time. If you decide that you want to edit this information, you would have to unlink it from the USDA database by just hitting the delete icon right there next to USDA. Once you're happy, and that'll allow you to be able to manually edit all of your nutritional information. Once you're happy with how your nutritional information is looking for this particular menu item, all you have to do is hit the save button, and that menu item is now updated with all your USDA nutritional information that is required. With that, I'm going to go ahead and have Rick go ahead and talk about a little menu boards.
This is a fun one. I don't know if you've ever worked with organizations that have to print out menus, and that's kind of interesting. I think a lot of folks have gone to giving you a QR code to scan so that you can see what the menu is and the cost of items. Well, I think this is a much better solution here. Now, as you're looking at the screen here, you'll see that we've got some rows and columns of items on screen. And when we get to the configuration portion of this, I think it's best to think of this as if it were a spreadsheet. So Aaron will go over that more when we get to that point. You're able to pick menu items. If we've got nutritional information on that menu item, such as calories, it will be displayed below the price, and you'll see that reflected on the screen here. It is possible that a menu item might not be available. For instance, in the middle of the jelly donut, I think that's because I like jelly donuts so much, we've made that not available. Actually, I'm kidding. But you may have items that are only available during breakfast, or for whatever reason, they may not be assigned to that site. If you've got multiple sites, you can certainly handle that where you don't include those items if that's what you want to do. But we do update pricing on the fly. That means if you had sent your menu out to the menu board like this and you realized that you had not set a price for jelly donuts, you could actually go and set that price, send the information down, and the menu board will update on the fly. You can set a background image that can work with the branding of your particular site if you want to. And of course, you can also display multiple menu boards if you want to spread out your menu across several boards at your site. So I think that's pretty straightforward. And why don't we have Aaron show us how we would go and configure one of these?
Thanks, Rick. So this is our menu board screen. You'll notice on the left-hand side, we have the actual list of menu boards you currently have in your system. You have the ability to add a new menu board and copy a menu board. So if you have a menu style that you've created that you want to have multiple of, so as you change from breakfast to lunch to dinner, you can actually have multiple menu boards that will look the same that are just copied after you create one. And then it's just a matter of replacing what menu items you want. So once you've selected a menu or create a menu board, you'll end up having the screen that you see on the right-hand side. We'll have a drag and drop area for your menu items. Similar to the nutritional information, you can select a menu item group. You can filter that menu item group to display just what you want. Once you have that list on the left-hand side where it says bacon cheeseburger, blue cheese, cheddar cheese, you can highlight one or as many items as you want, and it's as simple as click and drag that item onto the menu board. This is similar to Excel where you can actually drag and drop items within a cell. So if you highlight two cells, you can drag and drop into another area of that menu board. Once you have a menu item drag and dropped, such as cheeseburger, let's say you wanted to add an image next to that. So you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a cell property section that says background image that's highlighted. We would go ahead and hit plus. This is going to bring up a screen that lets you name that image. So you can name it whatever you want, and then you can select what image you want to do by hitting that arrow to the right. This is going to bring up the Windows selection, similar to how you would select a file for importing to Excel or opening a file. It's just a matter of browsing to the directory you want and selecting a PNG or a JPG right now, JPEG. We don't currently support PDFs. We are in the process of doing something similar to that. So you can actually select PDFs and other image types. Once you've selected the image you want, you go ahead and hit open. Brings it back here. You'll notice it gives you an updated path to make sure you're looking in the right location for the image you want. Then you hit done. This is actually going to upload that image to our database in the cloud. And now that image is available. You'll notice that the image now appears next to cheeseburger as well as in the bottom right-hand corner showing you that image. Once you're happy with your changes that you've made, you can hit the save button. This is going to save the menu board you currently have so that now we have a updated menu board in the database and everything is good to go. After you hit save, there's a few other things to talk about. So as Rick said, this is like Excel. That top row there, this says column, insert column, delete column, row, add row, insert row, delete row, very similar to right-clicking in an Excel file. If you want to add a column to the right-hand side, you just hit the add column button. If you want to insert a column to the left of a selected cell, you just select a cell and hit insert column. Everything will shift one item to the right. If you want to delete a column, you just select one cell and hit delete column, and it'll delete everything in that column, and it will shift everything back to the left. Same thing with row. Rows get added to the bottom unless you're inserting, at which point it gets added above it. Deleting will shift all your rows up. You can also have cells that expand over multiple rows and or columns. So you'll notice along the top we have 15 different columns. You can see that by the right-hand side of menu board properties. But where it says cheeseburger, it actually expands over 4. And that can be, you can go over 4 rows, 4 columns, however you actually want to expand and design your menu. So once you hit that, go ahead and hit next. We have these menu board properties. It's going to tell you the name of the menu board, how many rows and columns are currently on that menu board. It's also going to have an orientation. So in your cafeteria, restaurant, however you're going to be displaying these menu boards, when you mount that monitor in your location, whether it's going to be a landscape or portrait, you just select landscape or portrait. You won't notice a difference on the screen currently. This is just kind of your designer. It's not going to show you exactly what it's going to look like once it's actually push down to your items, but it will help you get an idea. Okay, this is going to be a portrait, so we're going to have a tall, skinny menu board or a wide, kind of short menu board. You'll notice there's also a button for include calories. So when you click that include calories, it'll actually display calories on every single menu item there, similar to how it's displaying a price. These are placeholder items. Because the menu board is site agnostic, so you're designing a menu board in general, you're not assigning it to a site in this particular screen, that will at least give you an idea of what the calories are going to look like and where they're going to appear on that menu board. You then can select a background color for the entire menu board or a background image, which is added in a similar way to a cells image, but this will actually display like Pentacare's icon is in the back. Then you can actually customize each cell, again, similar to how Excel does it. You can say how many columns you're going to span, how many rows you're going to span, what background color you want your cell to be, which can be any color that you want to select, the alignment of the items, as well as like the background images. There are 3 types of cells. We have an image cell, a menu item cell, and a text cell. The sandwiches, dessert, and beverage cells that you see that span almost the entire width of your menu board, those are text cells. And with those, you can select fonts, size, colors. For menu items, again, you can select the font size and color for the menu item name, the description of the menu item, as well as the price and calories. And this is kind of how all the customizations that we have currently in our system. And as you guys end up using these products, we are more than happy to hear all your feedback. We actually welcome it to let us know what would make this better for you, what kind of customizations you'd want to make this menu boards truly what you would desire. Once you've created your menu board fully, you would then assign it to a site. And that could be done, as Rick said, you have timing. You can have it switch out every hour. You can have it switch out like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you have 3 different menu boards that kind of cycle throughout the day. And now Rick is going to talk about our order ready boards. Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I think Pal's ready since we moved on to this image.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime, right? We're all hungry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the screen you're looking at right now, we're not really highlighting KDS today, but I want you to see that KDS screen because our order ready board is designed to work in conjunction with the KDS. So as menu items are ordered, they will be sent to the kitchen and they will appear on the KDS. All right, so if we look here, if you'll notice these items on the KDS at the top of it, and it may be a little tough to see depending on how large your screen is there, but we're showing you an order number and a guest name. There are a couple of them that we're going to highlight here. So as things work their way through the KDS system, they end up getting bumped, which is a way of saying that they're ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump both of those orders. And if we go and we take a look at the order ready board, you would notice that originally, while they're over here on the right side, they show up as preparing when the order is first sent to the kitchen. Then when they're bumped and we say that they're ready, they move to the left side. You'll note that they're ready and guests can see their name and their order number right there. So it's kind of nice. It is definitely eliminates the yelling throughout the site to have somebody come and get their order. And as Jonathan also noted, it's kind of nice to know where your order is at, whether it's being prepared, whether it's ready, that sort of thing. Now, what we do here, it's very straightforward. And what we will do is we've got preparing the order shows is ready. And then after 20 minutes, the ready orders will just roll off of the screen there since they should have been picked up by that time. So again, this is designed to be simple. Hopefully it's very, very readable. It should be very useful, I would think. So why don't we take a look then at, actually, now that I think about it, we didn't even show you configuration for this because this is as simple as saying, hey, I want to have an order ready board there. So very simple. Looking forward, when we talk about the menu boards, what we'd really like to do, we've mentioned that we'd like to have your input on that. There are some things that we definitely know that we want to add. When Aaron is talking about the configuration, you'll notice that it looked like a spreadsheet, but it didn't look exactly like the resulting menu board would see when it comes down to the site. We're looking at adding the ability for you to see that as you're designing it, to see what it will really look like. And again, that would be either horizontal or vertical, depending on how you set that up. Order ready boards. Right now, what you saw on the order ready board, there was a standard background there, very similar to what you see on the menu board. This iteration of the order ready boards, we don't allow you to change that background image, but that is something that we're also looking at customizing. And also, there's no customer interaction. And so the default time of 20 minutes that we would roll that ready order off of that board, we're leaning towards having an option there that you can pick how long you want that to appear on the board before it automatically rolls off.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick, for talking through the looking forward portion. There's a ton of stuff that I know our R&D team is working through. So with that said, I do want to mention here the customer surveys that we are sending out. This is really to gather input from our customers, to hear from you guys and your experience, what it is that you're looking for, from features to customer service experiences to sales experiences and implementation, all of that, right? So we sent out an email already about that in October. We will do another survey reminder in November and December. So definitely please send that back to us. It's super valuable for just making sure that we're developing the products that support your organization. And along with that, again, we will also have a survey after this webinar to just gather your thoughts on how this webinar went as well, so that we can continue to create some engaging topics for you. Now, in terms of what to do with this content, we really encourage that if you are looking for more information, especially to schedule a demo and just to learn more about these solutions, contact your account relationship manager or just email us at sales@csense.com. With that said, I think the guys did such a great job of walking you guys through the products, talking through the benefits and the features. So I am going to use this time to just ask the team any questions that you've sent. Feel free to continue sending those in, but I do want to just make sure that during this time we have the ability to answer any questions. So let me just check on some questions here. All right, there is a question related to hardware or equipment. Are you able to help with equipment or hardware for the displays? Does anyone want to take that one on?
Jonathan, why don't you take that?
Yeah, sure. We definitely have screens available for the clients if they would like to utilize our screens. We can also, if they have screens available in their materials department or anything like that, we can utilize those. So we can do it either way. We can either provide the screens themselves. As far as the rest of the equipment, that would come from us. The controller for the menu board itself would come from us.
This is more of a follow-up from me. More technical, maybe Aaron or Rick. Is there maybe a size limitation to the displays, or is there compatibility that needs to be considered?
Really, these days, I've been doing this long enough that we used to see screens that were 800 by 600. These days, most everything is high def, that's 1920 by 1080, or 4K, which is pretty much 4 times that. I would tell you for menu boards, we pretty much expect that you're going to have a wide screen to get the best results. But again, you probably have trouble finding a monitor that wasn't of a widescreen aspect ratio these days. So now we talked about having that vertical. Think about taking that same size and showing it vertically. If you want a long form of the menu board, it's still the same. It would be 1080 by 1920 in that case.
And Pal, the screens that we actually provide are 65-inch and they're 4K.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm sure there are people on here who would be interested in all that too. In terms of, I think this was probably mentioned already. So for the menu boards, can you have different displays for different stations of like a cafeteria?
Yeah, you certainly could. Right. And we do have clients that actually do that. as many menu boards as you want to have. We could support it.
Okay, perfect. And then this question, and you guys showed how simple it was to do the configuration and the design. Someone's asking, is there training available to help with setting up menu boards?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Our professional services team can definitely take you through the steps of the initial installation of the menu board and setup, as well as training both through screen share or through documentation to allow you to keep it up to date moving forward.
Perfect. All right, so those were the questions that came in. If anyone does have questions after the webinar, feel free to message our team, send us an email. We're happy to address those. But with that said, we're really hoping that you guys found this topic engaging and that you found it useful to have some conversations within your organization if this isn't something that you guys are already implementing. So we welcome any conversations. With that said, thank you so much, Jonathan, Aaron, and Rick, for speaking to these products, and for the audience for joining us during your lunchtime, if it is your lunchtime, or just any time, because your time is precious. So with that said, thank you so much. We look forward to having you on our next webinar, and I think we can end here.